you know, we covered the initial preparation, background, skill development, finding partner, all that. We covered the initial growth where you hired in really A-plus players who could run the organization in your place, a certain type of people. And it sounds like you did a lot of turning over of those folks to get the right person in place. And you also spent a lot of time finding out about who your customers were. What would be the next phase, or was the next phase in building Solution Stream or an entrepreneurial company like it?
Well, it's kind of what we're in right now, which is there's really, for a service-based industry, we don't really look for an exit event. I mean, a lot of companies, they start in looking for their exit because they're building some IP, you know, they're building up a software product of their own. They're going to take it to market, or they're going to fund it with investor money. They're going to go public, or they're going to sell it off, or something like that. For a service-based company, you can get an exit, but it's not the exit we want because the multiples on a service-based company are low.
Yeah.
We get way more out of our company running it and having it be the cash machine, if you will, than it is, than if I just 1 year decided to up and sell it for 1.5, you know, trailing 12 months revenue. Yeah. Why would I do that? Yeah. So we recognize that there's not an exit like that waiting around the corner where we're just going to, bam, retire off of this with a huge nut. But it's just going to run forever if we just keep running. So to answer your question, it's operations right now. It's making sure it's fine-tuned. It's making sure we're squeezing every bit of dollar out of, you know, all the invoicing, all the revenues coming in. It's being spent well. It's going towards what we want. We have the right people in place. We have the right processes in place to manage our projects, and just make sure it's a well-oiled machine that's finding new customers always, that's running the projects correctly, and we're making profit on it. And as long as that just keeps happening, I say to myself, why would I need an exit? Yeah. I'm free to go start other companies and do things. This runs and generates revenue all by itself. It's what I originally hoped for. Yeah. You know, I don't have to be there to earn any money. It earns money whether I'm off doing something else or whether I'm there helping it along. That's beautiful.
It's interesting, in each of these phases, there's been a real phase shift in the types of activities you've been doing. You know, some of the things we teach in entrepreneurship, I've heard it compared to different types of dogs. You know, you need like the bloodhound to sniff out the early opportunity, and then you need a different type of, you know, creature to kind of grow it and get the right people in place. And in this third phase, it's really kind of getting the operation right, getting it, you know, like you said, a well-oiled machine working, moving forward. So that's great. What's next after that? I mean, what are you doing now?
Well, Solution Stream, like I said, the goal was to get that to be a well-oiled machine, and we hope that that's what it is. It appears to be because we're growing fast every year, and we're having fewer and fewer blow-ups compared to start with. So now I'm trying to diversify my personal portfolio of business risk, right? Because I'm all in software. We're totally exposed to that market. If there's a huge downturn, like after September 11th, you know, the years subsequent to that, people really did put the brakes a lot on software development, and that impacted us. So we've branched out.
Yeah. Well, what I'd like to do is I'd like to see if we have any questions from the students, and then after we have some questions, maybe you can kind of sum up words of wisdom for budding entrepreneurs. But first, do you have any questions about what Travis has been talking about? I know I do.
I just kind of want to know what exactly, because I know you build web software or something. I don't understand IT stuff very well myself. Yeah. What exactly is it that your company does? Like what is the nitty gritty of it, or what?
Tell me what is your favorite website?
I don't. Google.
Google. Okay.
Probably, yeah.
So when you go to Google, a home page comes up. Do you iGoogle or just the plain old search bar?
It doesn't matter.
Okay, so there's a bar there's an input box that appears right there, right? When you type something in there and hit search, something happens on the back end, and then it comes back with a nice list of results.
Yeah, that's what I.
Everything that happens on the back end, I mean, not that we're in search. That's what we build. We could build a search algorithm that takes, you know, your search for potato chips. When you hit submit, and it goes out there, you know, it's a web application that scans indexes, databases, the internet, and puts all this logic together. It's a software program that gives you a result list that you can click on to see results about potato chips.
All right,
So,
I was just wondering
so
the
pick
whole
any
time.
website, you know, like that, and that's something that we could build. You know, some examples are, and I don't know if you know these companies, but LogoWorks, I know they present here. We were the original developers of that application. I mean, it was their idea, but we developed the technology to do their logo creation business. We've done a lot of things for Novell, for Omniture, for Altiris. So they're the web applications that they use to put things on the internet that their customers or employees can use. Does that make sense?
Yeah. it does.
Okay.
Other questions?
You mentioned it was hard to find the right salespeople who could capture the same vision that you had. What made the difference with this fourth employee? How did you recognize that they were what you were looking for? How did that work?
Good question. The one we hired, it was a coup. We tried to go about it more, I don't know if it's traditional or not, but it was probably more my way of going about it, which was, okay, let's go to industry. Let's look at similar businesses that are in a similar field as us. You know, people that are used to long sales cycle, solution selling, high-tech sales, quotas. You know, so we're trying to find a match of someone who worked, and this person worked at one of our clients who wanted to make a change. And it was a related industry, and he had had a successful sales experience at that company, and so we thought that would translate. So that was one attempt, and another one, you know, had other criteria. But finally, we just got sick of it, and my partner, this was his idea. I didn't actually think it would work. He just went to our direct competitor, our main competitor, and hired their top salesperson. Done. I didn't think he could do it. But in fact, the first time we met with him, I was just like, what are you doing? You're wasting your time. In fact, you're going to give him, you know, competitive intelligence about our company. So be careful what you're saying. But they met once or twice, and then all of a sudden he was having me in the meeting, and all of a sudden, this guy's serious. And the thing that made it happen is this particular salesperson, he was excellent at what he did, but he was treated like an employee at that company. He would never have ownership in that other company. We gave him that. So we found out what his pain point was and gave him equity.
That's great. Other questions?
Do you think, sorry, I asked another question. Do you think that in itself, the fact that you're giving ownership to somebody, do you think that also helps him to kind of feel like his own entrepreneur? And is that kind of the reason why a salesperson would do better in your opinion? Or do you think if you would have started that way with your first people, or were you giving them the same opportunity?
I don't think it would have worked for the other earlier ones. It wasn't what motivated them. I think they were happy with, they wanted stability. They wanted a paycheck. They wanted a commission. And so I think because they were kind of employee mentality, that's what they were looking for. And that's probably also why it didn't work for us. We needed someone who had partner mentality. And when we gave this guy, well, he has a schedule. You know, if he meets certain criteria, he gets certain equity. But he's very motivated to get that equity. And so he thinks like a partner. He's in all our partner meetings. We refer to him as a partner. And I mean, for all intents and purposes, he is a partner. So that's the big difference there, is he is properly motivated.
That's great. Other questions?